Welcome to another video on the Honda E. Today I'm just going to do a quick one. As you can probably guess by the title, I'm going to do a quick video detailing charging and the menu options from within charging, and a quick overview of how the app works basically. So you've got charging from within the car, and then you've got charging via the app. Now there's different functionality, obviously the menus are subtly different, but pretty much the same on the app and in the car. Now in the car you've got a big massive screen to work from, and obviously the iPhone, you've got a small little screen, but with the iPhone of course you can do it away from the car. So the brilliant thing about that is you can be sat in your armchair and you can set up your charging schedule, and the car, it will send it to the car essentially. So from the cloud, from the Honda services, it will download it to the car and then set that up. So if you're away from home, for example, and you thought, oh shoot, I left the car plugged in, but what I didn't do was adjust the schedule, you can then do that from the app. So there's a benefit of that. Or if you've got a schedule running and your car's plugged in, but you think, actually I'm going to be home earlier or something, or whatever, some other reason I can't quite think of, you can then start it early. So you can cancel the existing schedule and then start the car charging remotely, which is pretty neat. So that's what I'm going to kind of go in today. I'm just going to show the menu functions of the charging on both car and on the app. So let's dive in. I just need to find a place now to pull over. I'm doing this at night time because you can actually see the screen a lot better then. It's more clear. So I'm just going to find a place to pull over and I'm going to run through all the menus. Honda so far has done 4,430 miles. Okay, I have found a place. Oh, it's the most muddy, off-roady place you could imagine, so never mind. I'm parked up. Gonna lock the car. We don't want anybody trying to break into this, do we? So let me start with the car first. So what you've got is you've got an EV menu. Now this menu can actually adjust, but I'll go through that in another video. But anyway, our standard EV menu brings up the following. As you can see, charge, wait time schedule, preconditioning climate schedule, preconditioning climate operation, charging limit settings. I'm going to cover this very quickly. You can set up how much you want the car to charge. Now, if this was a high range car of sort of 300 miles, then you might want to play about with this. I can't see, unless you do very low mileage, you messing about with these settings at all. But as you can see, you've actually got two options, home and away. You can set up, okay, when I'm at home, I only want it to charge to 95%. Or you can dial it all the way down to, I only want it to charge to 80% battery. But if I'm away, like arriving at work or destination charging, whatever, you can say, well, I want 100%. So you can mess about with those. If you mess about with them, you can default them up here. So you just press default and it resets everything back for you already. So that's pretty neat. So you've got your home and you've got your away. So easy as that, really. Let me just go back. You can also open the charge lid. So that's the port on the front of the bonnet, which is a separate compartment really. But you press and hold that just for a second or two and it pops open. So you can do it from here. You can open the charge port from the key fob as well. You can also open the charge port from a button near the Honda logo on the front. So there's a button there, there's a button here, and a button on your key fob. So you've got multiple options open to you, which is pretty neat. Over here, you've got the state of charge, essentially. Now this menu, as far as I'm aware, I'm going to try it now, you can't swap. So it errors out. An app that cannot be swapped is running. So these two are fixed. A lot of other apps, you can actually slice them across by using this function here. So now moving on to the charge wait time schedule, which I've covered in a previous video on the 1,000 mile video that I did. This is where you go for all your settings. Setting 1, setting 2. I'm blank on setting 2. This is a schedule that I have set up. So essentially, you can see when it doesn't charge, which runs all the way through the week. It doesn't charge between, I think we'll see in a second, but I think it's 7 o'clock until midnight. Any time after that, it will then say, well, now you can charge. Charging, wait, time, schedule. Great, isn't it? These do nothing, by the way, I'm just showing you that. So charging, wait, time, schedule. So that is when you don't want it to charge. Back over to this screen, and you've got setting 1, setting 2. Setting 1, you'll see how mine is now set up for home. You got 7 AM, 12 AM. So there you go, look. So it's not going to charge. This is what confused me. Start, end time, 7 AM to 12 AM. That's what threw me. You need to combine it with charging, wait time, schedule. Wait time. So the wait time starts at 7 AM and the end time of the waiting finishes at 12. Running through these days. So you can take off days if you wish. You say, well, these days here, I don't want it to apply at all. So where that could be really useful, if you're busy, really using as much range as you possibly can, and you want to get on as charge as often as possible on busy days. So you might have a Tuesday, Thursday and a Sunday that are really, really busy, and you just don't want the schedule to stop it charging. You just want it to charge whenever you plug it in. You can then say, well, actually, yeah, here and here and here, I don't worry about economy in terms of charging cost. And I'm going to turn these off. Now, why might you want to stop it charging at certain times? Because you can be on economy 7 like myself. So I'm on economy 7, and that enables me to get really cheap electricity after this time. So I only want the car to charge when it's the cheapest. So half price kind of thing, you know, it's a bit more than half price. So I have it set up all through the week. You can then change these. So you click on them, you get a nice massive clock, big buttons you can't miss. It's not fiddly at all. So you've got start, and then you can click end. And so that tells you where you're going from there. You can just cancel that, or you can change from AM, PM, or press OK. I'm going to cancel that. Then you've got location, home or away. Well, anywhere is the term they use. Home or anywhere. This schedule applies at the moment to home. Now, home is set. I set it. I don't think you can set it within the car. You may be able to, but from the app, I registered where my address was. Actually, I've just realized then you do that from in navigation. Once you set up a home address within navigation, you can then do it from within the car. So home becomes where your home is set within the sat nav. So within navigation there, you basically say, set my home, and then it knows where home exactly is. So that is brilliant. So it knows when you're at home and when you're anywhere else. So this will only restrict charge now when you plug it into a slow post, you might want to call it. When you're out and about, it will just charge. When I'm at home, it won't. So it can distinguish the difference based on location, which is pretty clever in my opinion, and really useful. So I might go to a Tesco's or somewhere else where there's a slow post, plug in, go off and do some shopping, and it will charge without having me to mess about with this. But when I get home and plug it into the same power output, 7 kilowatt, it won't, because it knows it's at home. So it's a really useful function. You can also have multiple, so you can have setting 1s and setting 2s. So you can do the whole lot again and have 2 settings at the same time. So yeah, there you go. So you've got the option of doing that. So it's very dynamic. You can do pretty much everything you want to do, and it's displayed very clearly, aside from the fact that, of course, it's a charging wait time schedule. If you're used to electric cars, usually you set this up to say when you want it to charge, and this would be between here and here. So just that little complication. The other thing is, this only applies to the slow posts, not rapid charges. So if you're looking at an electric vehicle for the first time, all this setup is for charging at home, essentially, or on slow posts. So with a rapid, you haven't got to worry about any of this. It just ignores all of this, and it pumps in up to 100 kilowatts, but yeah, reasonably you're going to be getting about 40 or 50 when you're out and about. So there you go, that's the run through of that. Let me now switch to the app. So let me just launch the app. As you can see there, it also logged me in. That's because I got Face ID. So you may need to use a fingerprint, or you may need to manually type it in. With Face ID, it just logs you in, so it's zero hassle whatsoever. Now I'm actually out in the middle of nowhere, so I'm amazed that it's even showing 3G. But there's my car. So from here, you can see everything that's going on. It tells you where you are, the location. I'm not going to go through the whole app and its functionality here. So it shows me is unplugged, which indeed it is. That is accurate because I'm sat in a lay-by. From here, you can click on your car. And then it shows you where you are. And as you see there, just under that plus symbol, it says manage. You can click on that. And from within here, you can then set up your preference for charging. So you click on charge settings, and here we are. This is what we saw a minute ago. You got charging schedule 1 and charging schedule 2. You can then set up your maximum charge, like we saw earlier from within the car. Go back to the schedule, here it is. I can then adjust it. So now I could just say, where it says activate charge schedule, I can just turn that off if I wanted to remotely. And if the car was plugged in and it wasn't previously charging, it will then start charging. It would send a signal up to the Honda servers and back down to the car. And the car would recognize that there had been a change and it would start charging. And then you can change only active when home or anywhere. So there you go. Then you could set up another schedule if you wanted to, which I'm not going to. So from the app, it's completely controllable. Very, very simple to find, very easy to use, and can be done remotely. So I hope that's given you a bit of an oversight into how the Honda E charging works. I'm now going to head back off and continue my journey. But it's very, very simple to use. It's not problematic. It's worked more or less every time. I say more or less because I've had 2 separate instances where I've come out and the car's not fully charged, where it's charged like 60 odd %. So I don't know what's happened there. It's unexplainable because I've charged whatever it would be 100 times without any issue. So I've had 2 where it's done that. Don't know why. But otherwise it's worked flawlessly. The app to car worked flawlessly, and the touchscreen, etc., and the settings all very straightforward and easy to understand, and very adaptable to what usage you might be running through at any given moment, in any given week, in any given day. So you can set it up by day, you can turn it off really simply. Yeah. So if you've got any other questions around charging this car, let me know. As I say, I've run through all what you can do, what you can set up for this car. Rapid charging, I'm not showing that because all you do is plug it in and it just charges. And I covered that in the 1,000 mile review I did anyway. So yeah, you just plug it in and it charges, no issue whatsoever. So yeah, any questions, comment below, please like and share. Let's get into conversation. I'd like to know your thoughts on the setup of this, whether it's missing functions or whether it's got more functions than you would ever need, or you think how adaptable it is a good thing. Yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one.